Thrones was just dropped in my lap like a beautiful pineapple. I was going through my daily life, and I got a call that the show Game of Thrones was starting up, and that the two showrunners, Benioff and Weiss, were willing to give very few freelance episodes. They were really essentially going to write them all themselves. We have one to the original creator of the material, George R.R. Martin, one to the writer's assistant, Brian Cogman, and one to me. So it's like I won the freelance lottery. So I got to write one episode of Game of Thrones, and they assigned me the chunk of the book with some of the coolest stuff in it. It was just pure luck. I had to get up to speed on Game of Thrones. It wasn't something I was aware of. Although I had read other George R.R. Martin material, I hadn't read that. So I was in an airport going somewhere, and I got the call that I was going to have this meeting, and I went to the airport bookstore and bought a copy of the first book of Game of Thrones and read it and was like, okay, yes, let's do this. I don't know if it's on the QT, but I'm working on Once Upon a Time, which is definitely for the future. I haven't written an episode for them yet, but it's for ABC, and it's going to premiere in October 23rd, I think, and it's from Kitsis and Horowitz, who are writers on Lost, and they're brilliant, and we're having an amazing time doing that. So I'm getting to write an episode there about a very famous cricket. I can't say who. That's on the QT, but I think that's going to be good. I'm also continuing to work on the Buffy comic books, so Buffy season 9. I hope to be contributing to that. In fact, I already know exactly what I want to write for that. I'm developing a pilot for Syfy with my dear friend Drew Greenberg. He and I are co-writing a pilot called Randall and Hopkirk Deceased, which is based on a classic British show where it's sort of a ghost detective. And we're sort of making a really grounded version of that, where it's like, instead of the way ghost stories have been told in the past, where it's sort of like, oh, look at the funny floating trash basket. We're like, what would it really mean if people came back as ghosts? So I'm working on that. What else do I have upcoming? I have another pilot that I can't talk about. I have another show I've worked on that's not announced, so I can't talk about that. So they're so on the QT that I have to be really Q about them. NT. On Warehouse 13, I co-created the show by writing a draft of the pilot.
Right.
A year later, Drew was hired to work on said show.
Okay.
So we didn't overlap. It's not the idea I had for the show, but it's quite possible it's better. They did a really smart thing. They brought in comedy writers. Jack Kenny runs it with a comedy background. They've kept the show funny and fresh and imaginative, and I'm totally so proud that my name is on it. I don't think it's the pilot changed after my draft. I don't think this is the same show that it would have been if they had sort of done exactly what I would have done, but I don't think I could have done better, because I think it's fantastic. I don't do feature films. I'm approached now and then, would you look at this property and consider pitching it as a feature? Or we have a feature that needs a rewrite, but would you be interested? And I always think, oh, that sounds interesting, but then you read the script and you realize, oh no, they really want a big rewrite. This will be months and months and months of working on this project that's not mine. I'd rather be on TV, where in months and months and months I can write 2-3 episodes of a TV show where I really know that I'm going to get to produce it, I'm going to get to be part of it. I don't know. I think TV's better than features.